Hey everyone, I hope that we have better signal today. Unfortunately, yesterday my interview with my 87-year-old grandmother was glitching on us. We actually moved to a new location. It's still glitched, so I'm hoping that we have good reception today and I can at least convey some of the message that she was trying to share and I was trying to share with you yesterday with my time with her, giving us some kind of a perspective from someone that's 87 years old and that's been through pandemics in her past and been through health and life challenges. And I'd like to basically just summarize a little bit of that time we had yesterday. And so I'm over here, I'm just finishing out my workout here over in Galena and coming up these stairs. And oftentimes when I come over here and do these workouts and walk the stairs for some of the health benefits of the cardiovascular, and then we do some resistance work as well. But when I walk these stairs, a lot of times I listen to different audios. And this morning I was listening to John Maxwell and I was talking about in order to get to the top, in order to get to a destination, you have to be very intentional. As you can see behind me, there's many stairs down there. And in order to get to the top where I'm at right now, I had to be very intentional, have a plan of action to do that, and be intentional in doing that by pursuing the goal to getting to the top. And as many of you know, that are watching, looks like James. Hey James, how you doing down in the Quad Cities? Real estate's the same thing, right? It takes a little work, takes dedication, intention, and goals to get to the top game or get to wherever you're trying to get with your profession and with your goals. So, sum up yesterday's time with my grandmother. The reason I brought her on, like I said, is to get some perspective on what we're currently going through now, because she has a lot more life experience than I do. 87 years she'd been through, like she shared yesterday, and you didn't get to watch a lot of it because it glitched out on us, but 87 years she'd been through a couple different pandemics, chicken pox, mumps, measles, whooping cough, polio, and all those different conditions. She shared with me that there was quarantining. People were quarantined to their homes that were infected with those conditions and contracted those conditions. They actually would then put signage on the properties letting everyone know that there had been an infection there, that person was infected. And the interesting thing was she is able to look at then and compare it to now, which if you didn't live it, how could we really have that comparison unless we got it in the history books, right? So that was beneficial with Grandma to share that, because she did share with me then that even though all that stuff was going on, business wasn't shut down. Restaurants weren't closed. Commerce as they knew it didn't change. People took personal responsibility and obviously some common sense to quarantine themselves to protect their families and their communities, took personal responsibility. And I think so many people now don't take personal responsibility for their health. They don't invest in their health. They don't invest in themselves. They get caught in this train wreck, I'll call it, of life. They get caught into these patterns of behaviors and they think it won't be them. They think they won't ever have to deal with these things that are around them. Heart attacks, diabetes, whatever it may be, whatever label you want to put on it, I don't care. If you don't invest in yourself, whether it's from a health and nutrition standpoint or from a mental standpoint, you're going to crash and burn. And that's the thing that's really cool about how all this kind of has shaken out here. It's really a transition for all of us to think about our needs and wants. And like my grandmother said yesterday in her story and sharing, having 13 kids and raising a lot of her brothers and sisters' kids at her home, she was very selfless. And I think we become very selfish until we come to times of crisis. And then you see everybody start to become human again. Take off all the bullshit layers, take off all the masks and costumes and the labels and the accolades and all that type of stuff, and get back to being humans and helping one another and becoming selfless. And that's been really cool to see with everyone, how they've transitioned, especially in the small town of Galena, Illinois here, how everyone stepped up to help each other in the community and helping one another because they're all in it together, like you're seeing that phrase, all in it together. Well, where has it been before? Where's that mindset been before? So I hope this continues because it's kind of a cool thing, and that's what Graham and I were talking about yesterday, is how everybody has come together as a community to help one another and becoming very selfless, just like she's been over her lifetime, being selfless to her children who keep her living, keep her motivated to get up and give her will to live and to really push forward at 87 years old, considering all the stuff that she had been through. So it really then challenges for all of us, what are our needs and what are our wants? And, this morning, like I said, I was listening to John Maxwell and Ed Milet on a podcast talking about, all these people that have accumulated a lot of wealth, accumulated a lot of material things and successes that way. But when it comes all down to it, that stuff doesn't really matter if you don't have your health. And that's something that I really embraced when I went into chiropractic and went to the I'll call it the health field, because it's been diversified since I've started chiropractic into health, nutrition, weight loss, DNA testing, regenerative medicine, all those types of things. So I really comes down to really trying to take care of the human body in a way that is more natural. So whatever your take on that is, doesn't really matter. It's just talking about how we look at our health and how we look at our personal responsibility for our health. And I think that with all this stuff going on now, it's really forced us to take a different look at life through a different lens, I guess is probably a good analogy. And it's forced almost all of us to do that, which I think is really cool, because it makes you human again then, and coming back to the reality of what life really is and what life's really about. And so, like I said, coming back to the point of really being tested so that we can be a testimony. Because my grandmother had been tested through all the trials and tribulations, all the different pandemics, all the different financial hardships, physical hardships, health hardships, all the losses, all the relatives that she's buried, all the stuff that she's gone through, and that's life. So it's kind of interesting because we can use those individuals' tests to allow them to become testimonials. And I think that's really cool. Because the fact that that's true, hard, factual data that's not biased and it's not skewed. And it really brings us back to that point of really thinking about that. This stuff we're going through right now is a test to be a testimonial for those that are going to come after us. So meaning your children, your grandchildren, and the people that are left behind. I'm in a very historic town, so that really rings true here. This is where General Grant was, so there's a lot of history in Galena. And all that history is laid down. And I bet there's a lot of stories that haven't been told. They're in the graveyard. I think maybe it was Les Brown that said that the wealthiest people are in the graveyard. The wealthiest ideas are in the grave because they never came to blossom. And so now people have had an opportunity, because their time has been opened up, to take on a lot of those things that they wouldn't normally or ordinarily take on because they didn't have the time. So whether it's for your health and fitness goals, your nutritional goals, or just really being creative and crafty and diversifying your craft, or diversifying or reconsidering your profession. I know that this time has really gave me an opportunity to reconsider a lot of things that I was struggling with, and saying, what am I here for? What is my purpose here? And I think it's to be of service to other people. All the time I think that, right? And saying, but how? How am I going to be of service to people? Because like I said before, it's really helped people come up and step up as a community, and all these communities, to really help one another to be of service. So what does that mean? Being of service can mean many different things, many different professions, but it's really opening your heart and allowing the true version of you to come out and be exposed. And because the fact that people are more open now, it's not as scary or risky to be vulnerable, because everybody is in that place of recreating it's the unknown. So it's a kind of a fun time to say, that's great, take the mask off now, take off the costume. Who's the real you? Underneath all that armor and all that stuff you portray, who are you? Who are you when you're all by yourself? And now you can be that in public. And now you can be that for everyone else, because they may need that. And they may need you to show up as your superhero, or the superhero that you have the opportunity to be. What's your superpower? And it's giving you the opportunity to really challenge those things. I hope it has for me, to really look at and saying, what are the gifts that I have that I could be sharing to help other people or be of service to other people? And so as I reflect on my time with my grandmother yesterday, and then also my time today coming up these stairs and thinking about the podcast I was listening to about these different great mentors to me. I've never met them personally, but listening to them, they become part of your daily routine and almost like your life thing, because you're listening to them all the time and taking some information they have and seeing if it resonates. It's really awesome to think about what's next. Because if we're focusing so much on what's currently going on, we're missing the opportunity in front of us. And I oftentimes do that throughout my life. And, at age 43 here, looking back, still reflecting and looking at saying, what else can I do? What is there else for me to do? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I fulfilling my purpose here? And Ed Milet talks about, the most wonderful day will be when he gets to the end of his life. And I'm not sure of your religious background, but it's something to the fact that if he gets to the end of his life and he meets Jesus at the pearly gates, and he says, I want to introduce you to someone. And he introduces him to the person God created him to be. And him saying, you know what? I recognize you. You have done everything that I would have done. And he said hell would be meeting that person that he was created to be and not even recognizing that person. They're a complete stranger. So looking back at his life and saying, what if it was all a waste? And I think even Wayne Dyer says that too, coming to the end of your life and wondering if you wasted your life, if you really became the person that you're supposed to become. So this is a great time to open up your heart and to reset, to really figure out what is your purpose here to be of service to others. What is your purpose here through these tests and trials and tribulations to be a testimonial to? Like I said, 87-year-old grandmother yesterday gave me a lot of great insight in thinking about things, because I like to really look at life that way and take the time for myself and take the time to go through those things, because I know that I can be of value and service to other people. And hopefully we've done that here with this Reveal Wellness Advisor Group to bring you some insight and some value for you to help nurture and nourish you to really grow. I know it has for me. Even doing these videos, it's very uncomfortable for me, but it's really encouraged me and forced me to get outside that comfort zone and believe that I'm supposed to do these for some reason. And I hope that there's some value that comes out of these, whether it's from my small presentations or one of the other advisors on the team here, to help you in some way. Maybe you'll hear a message differently. Maybe something that will strike you and encourage and inspire you to take action on something you haven't taken action with, that you really been wanting to, but you just hadn't had the courage to do that. Now is the time to do it. Now is the opportunity for you. And so hopefully a couple of those things we talked about today will touch you in a way that'll encourage and inspire you to want to look to what's next. The new version of you. What is that going to be? What's that going to look like? And focusing on those things, and if nothing else, as an exercise, just for fun. Allow yourself to color outside the lines a little bit and just imagine for a little while. What would that look like? Because I know that so many of us don't, that's not possible. That's daydreaming. Those are pipe dreams. Well, let those pipe dreams just kind of flounder around a little bit in your mind for the day. Play around with it a little bit. It's not going to hurt anything. You have plenty of time. There's no restrictions. So I ask you to challenge yourself to think, what's next? Rather than what's going on right now and being upset and frustrated, being hopeful, being creative, being imaginative, thinking, what is next? So I'm excited to see what's next for you. I hope we are a catalyst for some of those things for you and helping you along. If so, keep on watching us, keep on giving us the thumbs up, the likes and shares, please. Invite your friends and family, people that might need to hear some of the stuff we're sharing. We're all human, no one's better than anyone else. We're just here to share a message, and I hope that everybody allow themselves to be more vulnerable and really take this time to think about how this is testing us to be a testimonial. So look forward to getting back together with you next Friday and sharing some more good information. We'll have, I believe, Kim on tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday, so Kim will be on tomorrow, I believe. And we'll just keep on posting stuff on here for you. But so it's a good opportunity for you. Like I said before in other videos, it's springtime. So think about detoxing. What's detoxing your body or detoxing your mind? It's a great time to do those things, because I'm pretty sure that through all this stuff that's been going on, we've toxified our bodies, we've toxified our minds. And if you need help with any of those things, reach out to one of us advisors, and we can help you along that journey in setting those goals and then helping you along with those checkpoints along the goals that you have. Because like I was saying, come up earlier, the stairs here, you have to be intentional. Set the goals, obviously, but be intentional with those goals so you can make it to the top, whatever the top is for you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.